Okay, in this video we're going to take a look at how you can digitize Cornell notes. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create kind of a template that you can share with students, and each time they need to take a new set of Cornell notes, they can go to the file in their Google Drive and make a copy of it. So they don't want to type on this original file, but you have them make a copy. So if you give them viewing permissions, and they just make a copy of it each time, and they can fit it in. Again, Cornell Notes is pretty much a graphic organizer. So again, give them viewing permissions and instruct them to make a copy each time they plan to take a new set of Cornell Notes. So to make a Cornell Notes template, it's real easy to do. Go ahead and create a table. So I'm going to create a table that looks a little bit like this. Let's see. And I need to resize it. Now I want to use more space here, so I'm going to go and make my margins a little bit more narrow. Instead of an inch, we'll do a ½ inch each time. This will give us more space to type. So I'm going to pull this right about there, should be good. And I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. And here's where, in my Cornell Notes template, that's where the students would put their name. And I'm going to go to this column here. I'm going to insert column there, and I'm going to bring it right about here in the middle. Now I just want this row to be split, so I'm going to merge these cells here back to where they were. Merge these cells here. And here's where I like to put them, their topic and objective. And then in this column here, again, this is going to be a little tricky, but I'm going to split it again. There we go. Actually, I made a column. I need to merge those back. My mistake. Instead of a column, I'm going to make a row. There we go. So here I want to merge these back together. Merge these together. And now here's where I'm going to put my date, period. Now in this one here, I'm going to merge this entire thing here together. And in this column, this row is going to be my essential question. And in this here is where the students will be taking their notes. And this is where they put their questions. Now I'm going to add another one. If I push tab, it'll give me another one there. So what I'll do here, I'm going to merge this, and this is where they're going to type their summary. So I'm going to go ahead and make this is the bulk of where their notes are going to be taken. Let's see, a little more room there, and the rest here I'll save for the summary. And now we have a nice little Cornell Notes template. Actually, if I make this a little bit smaller, oops, I'm going to add some space there for the essential question. Stick it down at the bottom. There we go. Too far. There we go. So there's space for the summary here. Here's where they take their notes. Here's where they add their corresponding questions. They can type their essential question here. Obviously their name, which on a digital version they technically don't need to put their name, but it's a force of habit. Topic and objective, date and period, and you have now a digital Cornell Notes template. So when you go to share with your students, you make sure to give them viewing permission so they can make a copy of it. So and using Google Classroom, you can put a view permissions copy in the About tab. That would be my advice. So let's go ahead and see how that would look. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Google Classroom. And we'll go into my sample class 101 here. And in the About tab, as a teacher, I'm going to click here, Add Materials. I'm going to Cornell Notes digital template. I'm going to find it here in my drive. It should be the most recent thing. It'll show it. If not, I just search for it. And there it is. And then I hit post. Again, I need to go ahead and set my permissions here for share. So I'm going to click on let's see, anybody in our district. So any student for the most part can view. So it's set as can view. So anyone who goes into my Google Classroom can go to the About tab. If they're one of my students, they can click on this and it'll ask them to make it. It'll open up. They can't do anything to it, but what they'll do when they open it up like this, they'll go to click on File, make a copy, and then the copy they make, they can type. So if I'm a student taking notes, I can put my name here. No, well, I'll use my alias. Don't laugh. We'll call this Cornell Notes. Period 4, we'll say. Let's say my essential question is, how can you do Cornell Notes digitally? Okay, so let's say that I'm going to take notes on a document here. So again, what we'll do, open a new tab. I'm going to find an article in which we can take some Cornell notes. So let's say we're going to take Cornell notes on this document. Okay, so I have my my article here. If I use the dual list extension right here, this button, I'm going to split my screen in half, 5 to 5. I have my Cornell notes here. I have my article here that I'm reading here. I could even I'll take some notes. Maybe I think that this this sentence right here is important. I can copy it. I can paste it. And I can go here and add questions based on that. So students, again, I wouldn't have students copy entire sentences. Again, in this case, they can maybe pick out some phrases. So possibly I can put it from here. They can put it in their own words. So they take a look. It says more than 30 million students, teachers, and administrators in schools around the world use Google Apps for education. So I may change that into 30. We'll say people use Google Apps in schools worldwide. So that's a good way to shorten it up. So it's a good trick to have them maybe copy the entire sentence, paste it in their notes, and then shorten it up, put it in their own words, and then when they review, they can add their questions accordingly. So again, when they're done, they can type their summary at the bottom. And again, this area here will expand as the more notes, if needed, as you add more notes to it. So hopefully this has been helpful. This is obviously very useful for Avid classes and any class where Cornell notes are being used. If you have any questions, leave a comment on the YouTube video, send me an email, or send me a message on Google Hangouts. Until next time.